Hey guys, Pat here. Hope you're having a good day, figuring out how to do life in this new normal or temporary new normal. Well, hey, today I just wanted to share with you some thoughts from my studies. I'm reading through the Gospel of Matthew, and today I read and studied the genealogy of Jesus. Uh, kind of difficult. Most of us probably skip over that. But one thing I want to encourage you today with is that it is a testimony to God's faithfulness to us, to the people who call on his name, regardless of our faithfulness or perhaps faithlessness. You see, the genealogy starts with Abraham, who, though given a promise for a son, tries to take matters in his own hands. It continues on to Isaac and Jacob. Jacob and his sons use deceit and some other means to kind of move their own agenda along, and yet God works among it. God works through it. God uses it not to accomplish their purpose, but to accomplish his. We see through four women who are listed in the genealogy. Four women. That's not a normal thing. Tamar shows up her father-in-law in righteousness, being called more righteous than Judah by he himself. Continuing on, we see Rahab, who's a prostitute, yet hid spies because she recognized that the Lord was God, even though she was a foreigner, even though she was of a people who were going to get conquered by Israel. She recognized that the Lord God is the God of heaven and earth. And so she hides spies and becomes the mother of Boaz, who ends up marrying Ruth, this woman who leaves her people, leaves her God to follow after, to take care of her mother-in-law, even though both their husbands are dead. And lead to Jesse, and then who's the father of David, the king, and David, who's this model king, right? Yet he commits adultery with Bathsheba and kills her husband Uriah, and so we see that in there. And yet through that relationship, later on, Bathsheba becomes the mother of Solomon, and we can continue carrying on with faithful, some kings who are faithful, a lot of kings who are not, but none of them, not a single one in that lineage, from Abraham to Jesus, is a complete follower of Jesus. None of them are perfect. They all demonstrate times of faith and times of faithlessness. And yet God still works. God still brings Jesus. God still works out the details to rescue us, to rescue his people. And so today I want to encourage you that God is faithful. God will be faithful to you. God is faithful to me when we call on his name, regardless of how faithful we actually are. So hopefully you find that encouraging. Remember that today, and God bless.